Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for July 24th, 2008. We're taking a look at the U.S.-Japanese pair. I was pretty dead wrong on the direction of this past session. I thought it was going to go higher, and it pretty much hit the 108 level and just hit some hard resistance and went lower, pretty much matching the previous day's range. I am looking for this next session to be between 108.30 and 106.85. Now, if the market does push higher beyond this point and gets through the 108 resistance, those previous resistance points that I mentioned yesterday are still in effect as far as this pair pushing higher. So definitely take note of that. We also have on the low side, we're looking for some support to come into the market a little bit lower than this level, and if it does come in, push lower and hits that support, we should see it come into the market at that point. Now, taking a look at the Euro USD pair, we have this pair pushed lower. If you notice, though, we have a pretty large area where the market pushed down and then pulled back prior to the close. Matter of fact, it's a larger area than the actual open to close range is. So that could key a reversal. I'm looking for the market to be between 157.51 and 155.85 or 89 rather. This did test previous support in the market, and if it breaks through, if we actually can push through that point, I'm anticipating that support will come into the market again, and that's where the market will turn around if it even gets that low. If it does go higher, I'm looking for some resistance to come into the market at this point at around the 1.5825 level. If for some reason it does push lower, look for some resistance, or I'm sorry, some support around the between 1.5510 and 1.5555 level. Now, looking over at the pound US dollar, this pair broke out of its range of the past couple of days. It just pretty much been going sideways. Had some negative news come out and it pushed through, dipped down into previous resistance, which has now become support, and then pulled back prior to the close. I'm looking for the market to be between 2.0034 as far as the range and 1.9770. Now, as far as some resistance coming into the market, I believe it'll pretty much peg that level. And as far as having some support in the market, I think it will hit around the 1.9835 area, pretty much the same support level that it hit today. Now, looking over at the US Swiss, this pair pushed higher and then pulled back and closed for the low. I'm expecting this pair to push lower after forming this down bar. I'm kind of surprised that this occurred. It could go either way. We'll just have to wait and see. If it pushes higher, I'm looking for some resistance to come into the market pretty much at the high of the past 2 days at the 1.0400 point. And as far as support coming into the market, looking at that at the 1.0334 area, right about here. If it gets through that, we could see it go down to the 1.0275 area. So look for it to come on down. If we get a break below here, if it continues lower, breaks, look for it to continue down to this point in the next session. Now, looking over at the euro pound, I'm going to deviate from what I normally do and take a look at it. We looked at this not too long ago, several days, several sessions back. This pair had closed down and then had formed an inside day, and we took note of that. And at the time, I was saying if we get a break during this session of this low, that we could definitely see it go lower back down to this previous support area. Well, it did take a few sessions, but if you noted, it did get to break through that point and continued on down, and today formed another inside bar. It would be interesting to see if it continues higher, kind of as it did here after doing that, or if it's going to push lower to some support area that's lower on the chart. It's definitely something to keep an eye out for. When you see a setup and it doesn't develop right away, this is a good example of going back and keeping an eye on it and watching it. Okay, has it hit? Has it hit? And if the trade develops, then go ahead and take it. Now, looking over at the pound Swiss, we have another large run up on this day and then this session, and then we have a pullback, but it formed an inside bar. So this, if this pair were to break out to the upside past this point, at that point I'd want to go long and look for a resistance point to exit at. Now, I don't know if the market will do that. We're going into session, Friday's session. We're going to be closed here in about 24 hours. So, I don't know if it'll actually have the momentum to push forward or if it's just going to come on down. But this is another setup to be looking at and tracking along the way. Now, looking at what was released today, we had the U.S. existing home sales out today. They plunged to the lowest level in 10 years. Which is interesting. The pound released their retail sales for June today, and the figures were lower than expected by 2.2% year to date, and this helped fuel the breakdown that we saw in the pound US. As far as this next session goes, we have the pound releasing their GDP for the second quarter, and it's being released at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. The consensus is that the GDP has dropped by 1.6% year to date, so that should further help the pound US dollar come on down. Now, the US dollar has their durable goods out at 8:30 a.m. and the new home sales for June are going to be released at 10 a.m. The estimates for both of these are down. They're expected to drop. So that's some stuff to take a look at, keep an eye on. Friday's session with the U.S. data coming out like that, even though this isn't very strong data, it could definitely help move the market. So until tomorrow, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.